Hello and Assalamu alaikum students. I'm your social studies teacher, Ms. Rakshana Zahra. Today we are going to start off with our new geography chapter, that is features and movements of the earth. So to start the session, we are going to watch a PowerPoint presentation, and after that you'll be having an assessment sheet that you are going to download and then solve it and then submit it. And again, you will be having 2 video links related to this topic. So now let's start with our PowerPoint presentation. See our topic features. Let me share with you. See, this is our topic features and movement of the earth, and the subtopic of this is imaginary lines on the earth. So before starting off this topic, you should know that our earth is, what is the shape of our earth? It's not a perfect sphere. Okay, it is slightly flattened at the poles and bulging. It's bulging in the middle. This shape is called spheroid. What is a spheroid? It's a sphere-like but not perfectly spherical body. So a globe is actually the model of the earth. See this picture, it is showing the spheroid of the earth. See from the poles, what is the shape of this spheroid, and you can see this middle part. This part is called the bulging region of the earth and flattened towards the pole. Okay, now here question arises that why do we have imaginary lines on the earth, or what is the need of these imaginary lines? Actually, they help us to find exact location of any particular place, and also if we are able to see time or date today, that is also because of the presence of these imaginary lines. Now, what is an axis? Axis is actually a needle fixed to the globe in a tilted manner, which is called its axis. The globe can be moved around this needle from west to east just as Earth moves. And this axis connects the two poles. The Earth has no such needle, it is just an imaginary line. Okay, you can see in this picture, this dotted line. This dotted line going towards the north from the north to the south, this line is actually an imaginary line, and this imaginary line is known as the Earth's axis. Here you can see another line. We are going to learn about this line also, that its name is equator. It is also an imaginary line. Okay, equator is an imaginary line which divides the Earth into two equal parts. Let me show you. See, this imaginary line is equator and it is dividing the earth into two parts. This upper part towards the north pole is called the northern hemisphere, and this part towards the south pole is called the southern hemisphere. Okay, see, northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere. And what does hemi mean? Hemi means half. Hemisphere means half of the sphere or half of the earth. Equator is very important reference line to locate places on the earth. Now, what are lines of latitude? We call them parallels of latitude also. Why do we call them parallels of latitude? Because they never meet with each other. They just go side by side along with each other, but they never meet with each other. All parallel circles from equator up to the poles are called lines of latitude. See here in this diagram, you can see these lines. You can see these lines. These are parallels. Okay, and we call them latitudinal lines or parallels of latitude. These lines are measured in degrees. The equator represents the 0-degree latitude. See, this is the equator and it is at 0-degree latitude. In northern hemisphere, there are 90 lines or 90 parallels of latitude. as well as the southern hemisphere also having 90 latitudinal lines. Okay, here we have 90 latitudinal line, and here we also have 90 latitudinal line. All the parallels north of the equator are called north latitudes, and all the parallel sides south of the equator are called south latitudes. They all run parallel to each other and the equator. Okay, here are some of the important latitudinal lines you should know. There are 4 important latitudinal lines besides the equator. Number 1 is Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle, and Antarctic Circle. Let's see in this diagram. Important latitudinal lines. See, this is the equator, lies at 0 degree. If we'll move towards the north at 23 degree, then you can see Tropic of Cancer. Okay, and if you'll move more further towards the north, here at 66 degree, you can see the Arctic Circle. Similarly, if you'll move down from the equator towards the south at 23 degree, you can see Tropic of Capricorn. And if you'll move more further towards the South Pole, you will move towards Antarctic Circle, that is at 66 degree. Okay, now let's come to the longitudinal lines. You have learned about the latitudinal lines. Now we are going to learn about the longitudinal lines. They are semicircles which runs from north to south pole. Look in this diagram, semicircles move from north to south pole, moving from north to south. You can see this. Okay, they are of equal length. Distance between them decreases gradually towards the poles where all the meridians meet. You can see when they are moving towards the pole, so the distance between them decreases. Okay, this is the example of North Pole, and exactly the same happens when they move towards the South Pole. Centers of these lines is known as prime meridian. Okay, center of these line means the main line of longitude is known as prime meridian. See this pink line in the center, you can see this line. This is the center line of longitude. This line is known as prime meridian, or we also call this Greenwich meridian. Okay, why do we call these lines meridians, students? Because they all meet at poles. Prime meridian divides the earth into eastern and western hemisphere. See in this diagram, this is prime meridian. All this part of the earth, okay, towards the west, this is known as the western hemisphere, and the part that is towards the east, this is known as eastern hemisphere. Longitudes are semicircles which run from north to south poles. Okay, this is your task, that you are going to label the main lines of latitude, longitude, TK, and again you are going to download this file and then you are going to submit it. Inshallah, we'll meet in the next session. Hope you have understood a lot about the lines of longitudes and latitudes and about the shape of the earth. Inshallah, we'll continue this session in the next topic. Thank you. Allah.